This video is brought to you by MagicJank.com, the spiciest cards for your sauciest decks. Buy and sell Magic the Gathering products and gear today on MagicJank.com. What is up, Janksters? It's your boy Graham, also known as HamHawks42 on the internet, and today we have a fun deck. This is an Esper deck that is leveraging Encroaching Mycosynth to do some very weird things. Now, before we get into the card-by-card breakdown, which I always do on these deck decks, I want to give a huge shout-out to the patrons of this channel over on Patreon.com, and a special shout-out to our $10 Mythic patrons, Angry Jellyfish, Black Trav, Els89, and Ryan. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. It helps a ton. And if you, dear viewer, would like to add your name to these credits, you can do so over on Patreon, patreon.com/hamhawks42. It really helps, and it's for as little as $1 a month. It makes a huge difference. Thank you for considering it. Appreciate that. Now, onward to the deck itself. Now, Encroaching Mycosynth is a weird card. It is one that was introduced in Phyrexia All Will Be One, and it says non-land permanents you control are artifacts in addition to their other types. Same is true for permanent spells you control, so when they're on the stack, and non-land permanent cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. So all the cards in your graveyard, all the cards in your library, they are all considered artifacts. So what can we do to abuse that? Well, the first thing that came to mind is Spirit Sister's Call. When all the permanents in your entire library, graveyard, everything count as artifacts, all of a sudden satisfying Spirit Sister's Call is very easy. There can be an amazing creature or enchantment or anything in the graveyard. Since it's an artifact, you can sacrifice literally anything on your board because they're all artifacts to then bring the other thing out of the graveyard. So we have Spirited Companion, for example, as just a great little 2-drop that just kind of hangs out and is a good 2-drop, but is great sacrifice fodder to bring back, say, I don't know, Atraxa, Grand Unifier, or Kaya, Intangible Slayer. These huge bomb powerhouse cards. We also have a cheeky one of Brilliant Restoration, because when everything is an artifact, this just says take your graveyard and put it on the battlefield. Except for lands, but still, like, a lot of cool stuff happens. So it's fun, it's a cool idea, I think, it's neat. We also have Jace the Perfected Mind as a way to fill our graveyard to really take advantage of Spirit Sister's Call and Brilliant Restoration, but also as a sneaky win condition. So this game is this deck wants to grind into the late game. That is what we're trying to do. We want to interact early. We have board wipes and removal spells to do that. And we also want to, and then ramp into our threats and get value over and over again. Well, Jace is sneakily one of our best win cons in this deck, believe it or not. So as the game grinds out, being able to just blast our opponent's library for big chunks at a time is actually worth a lot. Being able to downtick 5, the turn it drops, blow up 15 cards out of the opponent's library is fantastic. Then you go to the end step, sacrifice a thing, doesn't even matter what. It could be a Restoration of Eiganjo, one of the tokens the Restoration of Eiganjo creates, the Spirited Companion. I don't know, you might have a Power Stone token lying around that your opponent gave you, depending on what the matchup is. You just sacrifice whatever that is. You bring Jace back because Mycosynth makes Jace an artifact. So, so Spirit Sister's Call brings Jace back. All of a sudden, you're still in business. You can now, next turn, blast their library again. And then, if you have another Jace in hand, get out of here. We also have Atraxa because she's just the best. I don't feel the need to qualify that. She's just freaking the best. This is the strongest Reanimator target that Wizards has printed in a very long time, possibly ever. And so, we're doing Reanimator nonsense, therefore we have it. So this deck is fun. It is late game, grindy value, leveraging Encroaching Mycosynth. Don't worry, I'll respond to the message in a second. Yeah, so late game grindy value, where we're trying to pull stuff out of our graveyard repeatedly and just beat our opponent in the long game. Atraxa also helps us draw to our combo pieces and just is the best threat that our opponent has to deal with on site or they're dead. So that's nice. We have a lot of those. Now, I do have a sideboard for this deck. It is a lot of the sideboard staples that you see in Standard. We have Pithing Needle, we have Unlicensed Hearse, Path of Peril if we're going up against an aggro deck, put some more of those in there. Spell Pierce Negates, if you're going up against Planeswalker heavy spell, heavy decks, those are good answers to those. We have a 4th Jace. If we're going up against a mid-range situation, especially like Grixis, where our opponent might have counters, having additional Jaces in the deck is very helpful. So having a 4th could be useful. Meanwhile, against aggro, having a lot of Jaces kind of is not great, so we don't necessarily want all 4 in game 1. And then we also have Toxrill and Kaya in the graveyard, or in the sideboard. We have one of each. The reason for that, if we're going up against aggro, Toxrill becomes a significantly better reanimator target. If our opponent has creatures, Toxrill's the thing. If it sticks against soldiers, for example, our opponent is going to be really roughed up. They're going to have a tough time winning at that point. Whereas Kaya, if our opponent has just a couple creatures or some really big valuable enchantments or artifacts that are really driving home their game plan and really, you know, gonna be ending us, Kaya's phenomenal because it just picks off those threats, gets you a copy of your own, and then drains the opponent out as long as you can protect her. So they're very good reanimate targets or big top end finishers in different matchups. And so in game 1, we have one of each in the deck, and games 2 and 3, depending on what kind of deck our opponent's playing, we just swap them out appropriately. So that's the deck. It's a little goofy. I think it's fun. It has a lot of cool interplay. And the main core is Encroaching Mycosynth, Spirit Sister's Call. It's a cool engine, can do good work. So thanks so much for checking out the video. I do appreciate it very, very much. Let's get into some gameplay. Let's see if this thing can win on the ladder. These games are ladder best of 1. And also, when I recorded these videos, I had a setting that was a little tweaked. So when in the gameplay itself, you'll notice I'm not physically present, but you can hear my voiceover. There was a setting in my OBS that I had set. I recorded a whole bunch of gameplay, didn't realize that I hadn't changed it. So as a result, my camera didn't get picked up. This is not my intention moving forward for these gameplay videos, but it is how this one worked out. If you prefer that my face not be present during the gameplay, let me know in the comments below. If it's an easier, smoother experience, cool. I will take that under advisement and probably do that moving forward. I hope you enjoy the remainder of the video. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. And yeah, let's do it. All right, so we have the Brilliant Restoration in hand, which is nice. We also have the Path of Peril and the means to cast it. So I think this is a keep. We could also drop completed Jace on 3 if that proves to be appropriate, but I think we're good. So we're also on the play, which is huge. So having won the die roll or coin flip or however that's decided, pretty awesome. All right. So we don't have any turns, you know, any plays on 1 or 2. All right, cool. So this allows us to hit Brilliant Restoration. We go grab a land, which of course is just a basic plains. And depending on what we draw, we can either discard the plains and ramp it onto the field if we draw land. Otherwise, we can dump Atraxa, Spirited Companion. Oh, or we could just discard Spirited Companion and get a free draw. But then what are we going to spend the mana on if we actually cast it? I think I still want to do that. Let's get that free draw. What do we got? Free Spirited Companion off Restoration is pretty great. I do enjoy that very much. Now, we don't have 2 blue, unfortunately, because I want to drop Jace uncomplete, but unfortunately it has to be completed because of our mana situation. So we got icky, oily action going on there. Homie sticks, which is great. You'll love to see it. I'm going to go ahead and mill and draw here because we don't have Encroaching Mycosynth. All right, so we discard 2 blue sources and a Cruelty of Gix, which would have been nice. So losing the Cruelty, kind of a bummer, not gonna lie. That said, if we get Spirit Sister's Call, we can use it to reanimate the Cruelty. All right, and we had 2 Shattered Sanctums back to back. Interesting. Sometimes these things happen. Now, you'll notice we do have the Spara's Headquarters, which is a green source that helps us hardcast Atraxa if we need to. Obviously, we don't have that here, unfortunately. So, Atraxa is presumably sticking around in our hand, not going anywhere. Is what it is. Opponent also has a stop. So it paused there, which was interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and play my land. I'm going to attempt to go to combat and attack. Our opponent is fortunately giving us some room to breathe here, which I really like. I'm going to go ahead and submit 0 on Jace here. Just put a loyalty counter on him and just kind of keep moving. Now, there's no need for us to rock the next Jace. We can just chill, take it easy, relax. And yeah, opponent definitely taking their time, considering every lack of a play. Now, they are leaving mana open. They have 2 blue at the moment, so they could easily have some 3 mana counters that or even 2 mana counters that could really hurt us that for some reason couldn't hit Jace. They might be looking at Essence Scatter, being kind of bummed that they weren't able to take advantage of it. All right, I'm gonna go to combat first. I want to play out the Restoration of Eiganjo. I really want to play out Eiganjo post combat. That is exactly where we want to be. So I'm gonna try to play out Eiganjo post combat. Let's just see what happens. If they have a counter, they have a counter. Well, if they do have a counter, they choose not to use it, which is fine by me. We grab out the planes. We have played early in this turn, so we can't take advantage of that. I could downtick, mill a little bit, and draw a card. Then we're going to have other Jace, or we could uptick and just keep this Jace around. I think I do that. It's more of a conservative line for the time being, and I'm okay with that. So our opponent's on Esper, but they haven't done anything yet. So I'm not sure what to make of this. I mean, they might have a farewell kind of setup. Murex, okay. Yeah, this is definitely trying to be super slow derpy derp control. But they're not actually controlling it. Yeah, there it is, sure. And Champs on Graveyards, okay. That's not as devastating as you think it is, homie. I mean, honestly, hitting the graveyards is the worst part of all that. Yeah, I'll go ahead and downtick JC Poo here, see what we got. Got some stuff. Draw out a fresh resto. Grab that plains, because why not? Now, what we really need here, the fact that they exiled the Spara's headquarters out of our graveyard, believe it or not, is the biggest pain. That means we can't use the Restoration of Eiganjo to pull a green source onto the battlefield to help us play Atraxa. So, like, that sucks. Like, that's shockingly annoying. Now, we have the Seachrome Coast in there, so we can grab another blue source. So that's not the end of the world. Like, that's fine. Another White Sun situation. Sure. Dude, I'm rocking... I'm rocking so many answers to that. Do I want Seachrome or... You know what? I want more cards. Give me more cards. We have the Underground River Spara's headquarters. There it is. Totally didn't have it, but we have it now, so that's what matters. All right. We are going to rock out Path of Peril. Whoop. Wipe it clean. And then... Uptick on Jace, we just chill. Just hanging out, maxing, relaxing. We got a little bit of illin going, you know, like you do. They do nothing. Cool. I'm honestly kind of okay with that. 5 cards in the bin. Opponent taking just all of the time. Is this nothing but sweepers with White Sun's Twilight as the hopeful finisher? Because they're going to be sadly disappointed. I'm sitting with 2 board wipes. Just like, do it, dude. Freaking do it. I dare you. And we even have Brilliant Resto. Now, we don't have the Encroaching Mycosynth, so that would only get back the Spirited Companion, which is pretty weak sauce. But that's okay. I'm just going to be very conservative with Jace. We could try to run out of Atraxa. I'm guessing like they have to have some counters, right? Although they haven't countered anything we've done so far. So screw it. I'm going to make them have it. If they're just responding to what's going on the board, then we're going to get Atraxa's ETB and just absolutely demolish them in card advantage. Sweet. Let me load up a fresh Depop, because we can. Another Spara's headquarters seems like a fine choice. Certainly couldn't go wrong. Spirit Sisters. Yeah, Encroaching Mycosynth. And just a free cut down, just for kicks. Alright, cool. Seems pretty good. Oh no, I must discard cards. Whatever shall I do? I'm not too worried about Jace here. We can dump the other Atraxa. I'm gonna not do that. I'm worried that they might have another, I'm worried that they might have another Farewell. Exiling our graveyard here would kind of hurt. So let's see what they got. What have you got, opponent? You have a scoop. There we go. So I don't exactly know what our opponent was trying to do there. All we saw from them was board wipes with White Sun's Twilight, presumably as the finisher. But at the end of the day, we got there. Boom, baby. Well, Raffine's Tower on 1. We can even go Caves of Koilos on 1 just to hold the cut down up. Actually, we have nothing to do on 2, so that's definitely correct. And Restoration of Eiganjo gives us an opportunity to discard something. Hope, you know, if we draw like an Atraxa or our one of Toxrill, that could be pretty rad. Here we go, Spirited Companion on 2. I'm never mad at that. But as a result, we're gonna miss Eiganjo on 3 because this land is tapped. Maybe that was a bit aggressive on my part, but that's okay. Thrumming Bird. All right. Well, all of a sudden, missing out on that was not so bad. I'm going to attack. I'm going to offer the trade. They're not going to take it. They're going to take 1 to the face. I'm then going to do this before they have an opportunity to untap those blue lands. Normally, I advocate waiting until the last possible second to rip kill spells. But when your opponent has blue mana, it's oftentimes correct to rip it when that's untouched or when that's open, you know? And we have the shot, so I took the shot. And I'm not sorry. Let's go. Stormchaser Drake, also fine card. Ooh, hello. Kaya Intangible Slayer is pretty dope. I enjoy that card quite a lot. We're gonna get Restoration of Eiganjo. Let's go grab a Plains. Again, crack in off the trade. They're not gonna take it, which is fine. Totally fine. I kind of hope we draw into a land here. I really hope we draw into a land here. Ivy, okay. I see what her opponent's up to. This looks to me like the Rot Priest. Yeah, the Rot Priest deck. Yep, there it is. Sure enough. Now, okay, we need a board wipe. Is where we're at right now. We need to top deck into a board wipe, and we need to post haste. Because yeah, this is the Poison Ivy deck. When it pops, it is devastating. Mycosynth, that ain't it. That is not it. Do we have anything? We don't have anything in the graveyard that we can reanimate here. Well. I'm going to drop a Cruelty. And we're going to check their hand. We're going to start on number 1. Take a look at their hand. If they have like a second Rot Priest or something like that, I want to strip it out. And then on turn 2, or chapter 2 here, we're going to go grab a board wipe. We're going to go grab a Path of Peril. Actually, yeah, Path of Peril would be perfect. Which I will not say 3 times fast. You can't make me. Shore Up, Distorted Curiosity, and Combat Research. I believe with Rot Priest and Ivy down, I think that means we're dead. Like, I honestly believe they're going to have lethal next turn. Depending on how this goes. But they Combat Research the Drake. Yep. So they're drawing cards. Yeah, that hits Ivy as well. All these things get upticked. Or they can shore up the Drake as well. They're going to attack first, which is fine. I am going to put the Spirited Companion in front of the Rot Priest for 2 reasons. One, the Rot Priest has Toxic. So it would get us an additional poison counter, which I cannot allow. So that's a problem. Additionally, that puts a creature in our graveyard, which Cruelty of Gix needs. You know, once we get to chapter 3, if we don't have a critter in the yard, like, we're just kind of chilling. I suppose we could take their Thrumming Bird. That's kind of neat, but yeah. Shore Up. Okay, sure. Yeah. This is going to get us to Corrupted, which means they have Distorted Curiosity online. If they have, they're going to need 3 more spells that can target their stuff, which is not impossible. Okay, that's not it, thankfully. If they have a Slip Out the Back, they could punish me pretty hard this turn, which would make me sad. Path of Peril, there it is. Whoop, let's go. Yep, mana value 2 or less. 1, 2, 2. Let's go. Here we are. Does it go through? Cruelty of Gix teed this up. Let's see, do they have... Tamiyo Safekeeping would be bad here. Yeah, Tamiyo Safekeeping would be rough. Slip out the back would be bad. But aside from that, we're doing okay. I'm very nervous. That moment. They either have it or they don't. They're going to Tamiyo Safekeep the Storm Chaser Drake, which is going to keep the Drake and Ivy alive, which sucks. But unless they have something with that to protect the Rot Priest, it's going to die. Which would be rad. Because the Rot Priest is the engine. It's the reason we're going to die. Oh, no, that I believe just kills us. Does that straight up kill us? No, because that's 3 targets. Yeah, but next turn they just need to cast friggin' anything, and we're dead. So, yeah, no, that just didn't end up accomplishing anything. Yep, well, it was a fun thought while it lasted. Woof. Yep. And with that, as long as they have just a spell, we're dead. Oh, they have 4 cards in hand. There's no way we survive this. Yep. Bummer, yo. Well, that's the Poison Ivy deck. We actually had a decent setup to try to respond to it. It was ever so slightly... It didn't have, like, the turn 2, F your life, you're dead, you know, setup, which was good. But in the end, it still got there. So, is what it is. Let's move on to the next and see if we can do a little better in the next round. Alright, so we have Spirited Companion, Restoration of Eiganjo, Fateful Absence, Cut Down. This opening sequence looks real good. Real good. It's kind of exactly what we needed. So I'm going to lead off with the Caves of Koilos, so we have access to Cut Down right away. Kaya, okay. Like, cool card. If we can get her out, it's going to be neat. Misery Shadow, perfect. I will gladly pay 1 life to get rid of a Misery Shadow with a 1-mana spell. That seems like a fine trade-off. Alright, let's rock the Companion. Again, taking some damage from the caves, so be it. Alright, cool. Things are looking good so far. And we have the Fateful Absence to deal with that Gix. Well, we get a Fateful Absence. I think I'm actually going to Resto. Because we have more Spirited Companions. So we can chump block the 1. It puts them in a position where they either need to... Like, if they attack with Gix, I just block with the Companion. Just chump it all day. And, like... You don't want to use removal on a Spirited Companion, but they do, and Cut Down's actually not terrible. That's a good one to, if you've got it, to use here. And they had it, so here we are. C'est la vie. Cruelty of Gix, you say. To shreds, you say. Now, Restoration of Eiganjo here. I think I want to discard Kaya. The chances of us actually casting Kaya, very low. And we have a Spirited Companion in our yard already, so let's draw a card. I like drawing cards. It makes me very happy. Alright. Another Restoration is interesting, I'm not gonna lie. It's very interesting. Instead, I'm gonna rock out the Spirited Companion. Draw yet another card. Because cards are red. Big fan. Raffine's Tower. You love to see it. And now I think we just hold up our chump blocker, and we have the Fateful Absence back. So, and yeah, they have another Cut Down. Fine. I'm not too worried about it. Also because, like I said, I still have removal back. So we're going to be able to deal with Gix on their turn. Chalet. Yeah, we Fateful Blast Gix. Enjoy your clue token. On my upkeep, I'm going to Fateful Blast Shelly. Boom, baby. Feels good. Alright. And we draw for turn. It is, in fact, a Mycosynth, which is kind of whatever. But that's okay. We also have another Spirited Companion to rock out, draw some more cards. What have we here? A Seachrome Coast. Sure. I probably should have played the tower there. Yeah, had I played the tower, we would have had access to a second black that wouldn't ping us. Like, Caves of Koilos is going to ping if we use Cruelty, which is a little bit of a bummer. They're going to grasp, sure, that's fine. And for a grasp, crack clue, start drawing cards. Draw till you hit that invoke, baby. You and I, yeah, we both know how this goes, opponent. Diggity diggity depop. That is fine for later. I like that for later a lot, actually. Play that out. Rock out a fresh Resto of Eiganjo. Grab another planes. Doink. Chance of hasty threats in this standard coming out of black, not super high. So I'm not too worried about keeping a chump blocker back. Invoke, sure. Sacrifice creature, yep. That is in fact an enchantment as well, so my Resto doesn't have to go anywhere, which is neat. I like that. Honestly, of all the hands, that wasn't super impactful. I'll discard the planes. I don't grab up Spirited Companion, because I like drawing cards. Did I mention I like drawing cards? I really like drawing cards. And now we can establish an Encroaching Mycosynth, which is pretty cool. So if they have another Invoke, which they probably do, because they drew a single card off of Invoke, which means they drew another one. Yep. Happens every single time. I don't know how they do it. It's magic. And not like Magic the Gathering. I mean, just like literal magic. It doesn't make sense. But here we are. Okay, cool. So, if we Cruelty 2, we search the library, put it in your hand, lose 3. I think I'd rather check their hand, to be honest. And when we Grim Tutor next turn, see, did we get a hit? Any Shellies? No. Gix, though, if they're only non-land, let's go! Oh, that feels good. That feels real good. Evolve Saber, great. I love that for you, opponent. Oh yeah, pump all that. And this is a draw engine for them, to be fair. So that's something. They are gonna get to pump some mana into it and draw a card. So D's. That's not, like, it's not nothing. It's not nothing. I like Spirit Sister's Call here. I like it a lot, as a matter of fact. We are going to Path of Peril. And let's see. Well, they have a Sheoldred in their graveyard, so I don't want to sack the Cruelty. Way don't want to sack the Cruelty to the Spirit Sister's Call. But I really want Kaya. Yeah, I really want Kaya. I'm willing to lose the Spirit Sister's Call to get Kaya on board. I feel like that's worth it. I definitely feel like that's worth it. They have the Shelly, sure, of course. Absolutely, opponent. By all means, I insist. Ooh, Obliterator. Cool, cool. I dig it, I dig it. Let's see. I could take their Misery Shadow, which is intriguing, but I'm honestly gonna wipe the board here because of that Obliterator. Yeah, so I'm gonna take their Misery Shadow. Well, or we can just downtick and just take their Obliterator. Or, yeah, we downtick and take their Sheoldred. That seems good. Actually, the more I look at that, the less I like it. Alright, so that just drew us a card, which is nice. Gaining life is great. Big fan. Big, big, big fan. Well, in the end, we're gonna do that. Not amazing, but here we are. We still are sending to the Kaya. That was a very, very poorly sequenced turn on my part. I should have done that better, but that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and just uptick. Just pingity pings. Resto. And we had a plains to grab. That's neat. I like that. I'll play it out, because screw it. Why not? Alright. Arena, do your thing. Gonna hold the plains back to make sure we had discard fodder. Another Phyrexian Arena. Okay, tight. We'll dump that. Grab up another Spirited Companions. I mentioned I like drawing cards. Because holy cow do I like drawing cards. Let's draw some more cards. Those are useless cards in this case. So opponent, by all means, get your scry on. Do it up. I insist. They put it at the bottom. Okay, so they got some value off that, which is fine. It is what it is. I'll drop an Encroaching Mycosynth. That's fine. Mostly, I dropped another Encroaching Mycosynth primarily that way. If we do get our another Spirit Sisters, we'll have the ability to pull it back. We also haven't seen a single Spara's headquarters yet, which is kind of weird. So, mildly problematic, but that's okay. Lils, what's up? Oh, make me discard. Do it. Uptick. Do it. You know you want to. Invoke. Okay, that sucks. That sucks dramatically, actually. Alright. Discard Atraxa. Top deck Cruelty of Gix. Not quite. Still good, though. Still good. I'll take it. Alright. We're gonna diggity depop. My graveyard has 17. Theirs has 11. Cool. We're gonna drop full price Jace. We're gonna down tick, mill ourselves a little bit, and draw 3 cards. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Hey, that's the Spara's headquarters. What is up? Green mana in the house. Let's go. Feels good. So Phyrexian Arena is doing our work for us, pinging away on our opponent. You'll love to see it. All right, Gix, what's up? I see you, Gix. I see you, baby. So Liliana is mildly problematic, not gonna lie. Ooh, they are gonna grab one. They hit Toxrill. That's a damn good hit. That's a damn good hit. I can't even be mad. Don't get me wrong, I'm not jazzed, but I can't be mad. All right. So let's see. I'm gonna have you mill a little bit, opponent, just a little bit. And then I'm gonna draw 3 cards. I mentioned I like drawing cards. Man, I freaking love drawing cards. It's the best. Absolute best. Top notch. A+. Doesn't get better. I'm gonna do this real quick. So we can go grab another board wipe. Grab a fresh Jace. Seems like a great idea. Great idea. I love it. I love that idea. Fateful Absence also seems pretty good. We already have... We have 2 Mycosynths down. But yeah, we got Fateful Absence. We got Spirit Sisters. We don't need a land here. I'd rather keep our library full because we're down to 13 cards. So we got to be aware of that. We're gonna Fateful Absence Lils. Get that down tick off the field. I think that's important. And we rock out a resto. Alright, so the opponent needs an answer to this Atraxa. Because, yes, Atraxa is going to get slimed by Toxrill, knocking her down to a 6/6, but she's still a 6/6 with Death Touch and Lifelink. So, that's pretty good, last I checked. On top of that, our opponent's down to 22 cards in their library, and we have 2 Jace the Perfected Minds in hand. That's good for us. But now they have Exacxies on the ground. No, they don't. It's 10. Okay, good. Wait, they're also down to 1. Misery Shadow, okay. If they attack here, they put us down to 1. They hit us for 10. Alright, they're gonna activate Gix. Yeah, and honestly, we just need to pass the turn. Or they could choose to pay a life here and just die. which is also it's up to them. But yeah, their Phyrexian Arena will do the job for us, which is fun. I like that. I'll just put Spara's headquarters directly on the field. Why not? Yep, because they're hellbent. They got 22 cards left in their library. I'm gonna kill them twice. Is what I want to do. JC Poo in the house. Yeah, we had it a bunch of different ways. So that came down to the wire. Obviously, we got down to one, but we pulled it off. So love it. Thank you so much for checking out the video. But I was gonna mill them out. Is the idea? I was gonna double Jace, mill their entire library, and then pass it to them. Let the Phyrexian Arena kill them on their upkeep with an empty library. I thought that would have been funny. Apparently, they disagreed. Fair enough. In any event, thank you so much for checking out the video. I appreciate it very, very much. If you enjoyed this video, this type of deck that's a little silly, a little out there, then please hit that subscribe button. Makes a huge difference. And I will catch you on the next one.